Hello there. This is Rom Wills coming back at you with yet another video. I have a special guest today, Shophar, full show health. And we're going to be talking about the boiling point of body gain. Yeah, but we're going to go deeper into this one. And so I have a special guest, Shophar. We go back a long way. He is one of the first people to take the information in my book and make a real impact. Why don't you tell them who you are, though, Shophar?
Appreciate it. Thanks, Rom. Peace to all the family out there through time and space. So I met Rom. I call him Big Brother Rom. I know a lot of y'all call him Uncle Rom. I call him Big Brother Rom. But I met him back in 2002. I got his book. The first one that I saw was Nice Guys and Players. Got it at a bookstore called One Force Books in Richmond, Virginia, back in the day, in 2002. As soon as I saw that book, I already knew. I was like, all right, yeah, this is going home. And got that joint, read it, probably in a couple of days. It was an easy, quick read. Just, I feel like, and like we're going to talk about on here, man, it's just a lot of it hits like common sense. It hits like just natal knowledge, like a remembrance that, hey, yeah, this makes sense. You know what I'm saying? And at the time, maybe about a month or two before, I had just got Yao Morris's, AKA Master Yao's book. So between those two books back to back, it changed the course of my life. So big shout out to you always, Rom. I appreciate you.
And I appreciate you because you actually read what I wrote. And I've seen your growth, man. I mean, I've seen your growth. If you had stayed the way you were, bro, I don't mean no disrespect. You might have been on some of these Black Pill channels. I've seen the women that you've gotten. I was like, what? Damn. This is like, you've really done some stuff. But you know what? We could talk about that all night. Let's just jump into it. Boiling point. Man, I've been waiting for years to share that thing, that whole concept you came up with, because the boiling point concept really crystallizes what body gain means. Why don't you share it? Because this is you. I could never use it. I try, I give people some angles of it, but you broke it down. And you taking like to the body gain to its natural conclusion. And and one thing I will say, see, a lot of people think you gotta have a specific body, like some, whatever model they have up there. But yeah, no, it goes to a deeper level, which is why I tell guys to get their best body. But tell us, boiling point, share it with the audience.
All right, no doubt. Well, first off, thanks for the props and everything. I appreciate you, fam. And so boiling point, I had all intentions to look up when water boils, like what degree. I think it's like 112 or something. So, but if you're 1 degree off, the water's still not going to boil, right? And that's kind of the concept of boiling point. It's each one of us, and this goes for the feminine or females and men, it's that best version of our body that's going to get the most attention, period. Just simple. And that could be just a difference in pounds. And we've been pushed into a mode to think that it always has to be a certain type of body type when you're talking beings in general, right? I just picked up just saw, and I was at Barnes & Noble before about an hour or so ago, and I saw the new swimsuit edition. And they're trying to, some people call it wokeism or whatever, but I really do feel like there's an earnest try for whatever reason. You never know what their intentions are, but they are trying to represent all different type of body types and skin tones and ages and stuff. And that's more like what it really is, right? Like that's what life is. It's like, what might be boiling point for one person, let's say a man, and what fits his DNA, his divine natural awareness, how he needs to show up and everything. Another person might be overweight at that same weight or underweight. You know what I'm saying? So it's really about, and you start to know when you're at boiling point, and it's a very clear indication. It's not hard to take the pulse on it. When you're getting attention from the opposite sex, when it goes up to a certain point, you're at boiling point.
And you know what? I like how you put that because, like I said, it's the best body. See, some guys they thinking, well, I got to put on all this weight, but it still might not work for you because it's not your boiling point. Because when you say DNA, you put some words with that. You said divine, natural. What was
Awareness.
it? Awareness. It really is because the reality on this planet and Sports Illustrated, that's not wokeism. That's just a reality. I mean, men like different types of bodies. Same thing with women. They like different. You got some women, they like a man slim. Some women like a man real muscular. Some women like a big man. You know, and see if all a man has to do is figure out what's his boiling point and stick with it. Because like if a woman like a big man, she turned on, but he started losing some weight, she ain't gonna like it. Now, some guys say, well, she automatically look. No, every woman is different because let's be real. When we come down to the DNA, it's always gonna be something different. It's just like vaginas, none of them look alike. They're gonna be different. So different things are gonna turn on a particular woman. That's just the reality. We're not just all one cookie cutter. And I don't know why a lot of guys can't, well, that'd be another conversation. That's kind of like some cultural chauvinism saying, yeah, we all got to look like this and everything. And I'm like, no, apparently not. You know, if you have men in Africa, their women are producing 5 kids per woman. And then maybe somebody in Europe, they're producing 1 child per woman. Apparently women like different things in different parts of the world. Shoot, in the South Pacific, shoot, you gotta be a big old, you seen those Tongans and Samoans and stuff. I mean, it's just different. And it's really what how would a person find, I mean, this is a softball, but trust me, somebody will say, well, I don't know where my boiling point is. And you just mentioned it. And I was like, watch the video, but let's just be clear. How does a person find their personal boiling point? Let me just softball it.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, it's like throwing the alley-oop off the backboard there.
Exactly.
It's really like the biofeedback. You know, are you starting to get biofeedback? In other words, are you starting to get more attention from the opposite sex or more attention from people in general? You know what I'm saying? And that's a good gauge. And when I say feedback, at first it may be like 0 to none. And then another one is like you start to get somewhere. A person might notice you when you come in, but that's about it. You'll notice that it keeps going up and up to the point where you're at boiling point. And the reason why I call it boiling point is because you start to get from the opposite sex where they almost can't control themselves sometimes around them. You know, like before they might give you a little glance, you know, or whatever. If you're not at boiling point, it might be an acknowledgement at least, not just ignoring your acknowledgement, but it's still not enough to make them actually move like water, right? Because we're made of water. But when you get boiling point, you're going to start getting the opposite sex actually almost where they can't control themselves sensually or sexually around you, and they have to say something or they have to put themselves around you. It's magnetic.
Boom. And see, that's at a deeper level because here's the thing, and I don't talk about it as much publicly, but I've talked about this on like on-demand videos and all of that. And of course, somebody, which one? Okay, go through my links in the description box. But yeah, it is magnetic. They can literally feel something. And see, a lot of men don't understand it because if we can feel something sometimes, like you know, when you see that one with the perfect round butt, you're like, damn. And it's like you almost got to just walk on over there. It's like you get brave. You don't normally approach, but all of a sudden you got the conversation, everything. She got you lusting. Women the same way because they feel even more than we do. But a lot of guys don't get that. They just thinking, oh yeah, you know, man, you know, I got my game or I got my money or something. They don't feel anything, you know. But when they feel something, it breaks through a lot of defenses. It breaks through because then they want to have sex with you. They'll put themselves in your path because they feeling something on
there, Rom.
Huh?
Yeah, my bad for cutting you off, but yeah, I love what you're saying there, man, because and I'm gonna hand it back over to you, but man, it's like
just flow, man.
Yeah, it's a primal force where, and that to me is the mother. That's the divine father that it wants to bring more consciousness on this planet. It wants to bring some youngins here, right? So, you know, and this is nature. This is you see it in the animal kingdom. You see it in the plant, the flowers and the way they blossom. They be dripping and stuff and everything. When you see that body point, that a person, another human being in their boiling point, it does something to the people who are seeing it and feeling it. If you're on that frequency where it's almost where it overrides the thinking mind.
It really does. And I like how you said frequency, because shoot, let's just go with it. Because a lot of people don't know. They think, oh, he's just body game. You can't. No, we going deeper, because let's be real. We're part of a subculture where men be making women have an orgasm without touching. Shoot, you be making women have an orgasm, you be taking a nap. And people don't realize that. Yeah, I'm not as big on it because I like to still grab, but I'll throw it out there and say, you be like, how you do that? Yeah. I look, hey, like Deniyama would say, he say, I look for you inside of me. Then when I found you, I can make love. But it is the frequency, because the thing is, communication is maybe 8% verbal. So many things are happening subconsciously. So many things. I mean, if you go into a group of men and women and just stand back, you're going to hear one conversation. They can be talking about whatever. But if you pay attention, if you feel, you watching the body language. A woman might be talking to one guy, but her nipples are pointed to another guy, or her feet. And she's trying to move over because she's feeling it. And he might just be sitting there chilling or something. And she gradually make her way over. And she'll put herself there. She might just start shaking. You ever see you go in a room full of women and a few of them start shaking? You ever had that? Yeah. I mean, and you be like, some people don't know what's happening. They say, no, they're reacting to somebody. Probably you. You know, all you have to do is watch it. It's like, when you see some women, they know when a player is in the room without even looking. They can feel it. A woman actually told me that. She said she knew when I was around, even if her back was to me. I was like, it's powerful. It's powerful. But see, one of the things is it's talking about that energetic stuff, that tantra stuff. Like, a lot of people ain't at that level. But then if you get to that level, you get to that energy, it breaks through so much. Even the physicality. Even the physicality. And when I say physicality, if you can take it to that energy level, because that boiling point is so powerful, it goes down to the very DNA, like you said. And the women, they can feel it on a DNA level, like this is just a click. I mean, that's how powerful it is. And even if I don't know, it's just, I don't know. I don't know how to explain it where other people could understand it. Perhaps you could share it, because I mean, you can go deep on it.
Yeah, well, you know, I think you hit it right there. I think it's very clear for me, but I also understand we all come into this at different levels of, you know, like if I had my 20-year-old self, I might not get it still too. Mm-hmm. Yeah, man, I think it's just when we break it down to the nature of it, and the simplest form of it is like even at an atomic level, we have atoms, hydrogen and oxygen and carbon and nitrogen, and they are attracted to each other, and they're dancing and pulling each other together, and that's what you're made of. And you can't fight those forces. That's exactly what you're talking about. To me, is attraction is at that level where it's happening all the time, and it's a force, just like gravity. You drop something, same thing, that energy is at play. And one of the things to play with, and is the body game. It's exactly that having your body at the optimum level, like we're talking about, and again, playing around with it and seeing what your biofeedback is. Exactly.
And you know, and that's the thing. See, one of the things with man understanding, he has to pay attention. I mean, That's something I said before. I said it's not so much a man needs game. I mean, I'll throw the word out there to get some attention on here, but it's not so much he needs game. He needs to pay attention because so many men they'll be focused on woman A, but women B, C, and D, they looking just as hard. They're smiling. Shoot, you can make a woman. I mean, like the whole thing with making a woman have an orgasm. I never forget. Before I even found out about officially about making a woman have an orgasm, a woman was telling me she was at a gas station and she saw this guy. His aura was so strong that she had to sit down. Yeah. And if you talk to some women, you get them free. They'll say that. They'll say, yeah, certain guys come in the room or something. But that's that base of that's the body and everything. That's why I say it, because what is the body? It's the primary way to attract a mate. Primary. A lot of guys don't get that, but those same guys ain't getting no pussy. I'm just gonna be raw with it. You know, but it's the primary thing. It speaks. It's like a dancer, like dancers, whether it's exotic dancers or dancers in a ballet. They know that they're speaking. They know what they're doing. They do it. They put in like the women dancers. They could be some show, dance concert or something. They know they putting the guys into a trance. The male dancers, they know they putting the women into a trance. And see, if you have that power, then when you like want to say hi to them, oh, the woman's going to be real receptive. She's going to be receptive to it because her body's already saying, yeah. Or that at that point, all the man has to do is recognize it and don't blow it. Don't give her a reason like to fight it. And even then she'll have trouble, but if you nice and polite, she'll be like, yeah, okay. Shoot, she might be the one to give you her number and everything. And that's the thing. But I'm gonna tell you what though. Okay, we explained boiling point. Why do you think people out here don't really get that point? Because I still get pushback on just plain body game. Why do you think that? What have you seen just from, you've done some coaching, you're definitely a master of Tantra. Why do you think there's an issue with people just understanding just that one aspect which anybody can work with? What do you think?
Good question, bro. Honestly, I think it's because we've become so artificial and that we've become so superficial and that we've become so far from nature that we're not to not remember that we are nature. First off, a lot of times when we think of nature, we think of forest or the ocean or whatever. And we like, oh, we got to go out to nature. We are nature. Even if you're in the most concrete jungle, you are from your mother. You can't be separated from them. So you and your mother are one. You are of your father, the sun. You know what I'm saying? You are of your breath. You are of the water. The ocean is in you. Your tears are salty like the ocean. So you are nature. So when we don't recognize these little things, bro, it's because we have somehow forgotten who we are at a very deep and fundamental level. A lot of it is religion. I mean, that's one of them. Religion and there's so many different things at play, but let's stay on the religion thing for a second. What you just described would supersede, someone's belief in Allah or Yahweh or God or whatever. In other words, I don't care if the Bible is telling you this is sin. Her coochie just was moving.
Exactly.
And that was natural. Now she can interpret that as sin, and that's the devil or whatever, if that's what you want to believe. What I think is just the mother in you, it's the nature in you, letting you know, like, hey, I'm feeling like I want to have this person's baby potentially.
Exactly. And I'm gonna tell you what, I like that because when you mentioned nature earlier, I wrote that down, and then you bring it up again because one thing in our circle, our subculture, we're about the natural blueprint. And what do we call this culture? The machine culture. Everything's artificial. You got people trying to measure stuff. They say, well, you're this height, your jaw measures this. You got a certain credit score. You got this status, all of this stuff. And I'm like, okay, but all that's artificial. When we relate, it comes down to a man and a woman being butt naked someplace. What does your credit score have to do with that, or how much money you make? You know, y'all pure. That's the pure thing. That's the pure thing. But see, we got all this other stuff, and let's be real, including religion, which a significant amount of it was misinterpreted from the masters who introduced every system. And what were they trying to do when they misinterpreted or consciously twisted some things around? They're trying to control basic nature. Think about it. You're talking about the thing that creates life. You're talking about if something happened to 99% of the men on the planet, that 1% left could still keep the world populated. Think about our sperm.
Right.
That little tiny microscopic thing can seed a woman and bring life. In fact, there's an energy connection when a sperm hits the egg, which has been measured by Western science. Think about it. I mean, it tells the egg what to do. It tells the egg. That's how powerful it is. Indeed, if a man know what he's doing, and he has that energy, he has that vitality, it can even change a woman's body. It's so many powerful things with it. Just the sex, it can heal a woman. Sex can heal a woman. Just like a woman's sex can really heal a man. I mean, and all of this is natural. And I'm gonna tell you what, but see, you have so many forces, political, religious, media, that want to steer people in a certain direction. Because if you're having children, if you leave some children alone, they just interact with each other naturally. They haven't even reached puberty yet, but they still interact. I peeped this with my sons when they were children. Little girls be just coming to them, wanting to play house, want to hug them and all of that. It's like, wow. But, science would say, well, you got to take them on a date, all of that, which let's just be real with that. How much of the economy is based on dating? And I ain't talking about dating apps or anything like that. Think about the whole jewelry industry, buying diamonds to impress a woman and everything. A significant part of food places, fancy food places. I mean, so many things. The marriage industry, it's so many things it's based on. And then even what happens if a marriage breaks up or something. So many things. And you have so many forces trying to interfere with that. And I don't even want to get into the political stuff this night.
Yeah.
There's some deeper stuff, I kind of threw it out early. I don't even want to pick up on it because it's crazy. But see, here's the thing. And tell me what you have seen. This machine culture isn't working for people.
No, it's not.
It is not. The natural thing is, because when it's a natural blueprint, when y'all both have, say both the man and the woman, they feel it. They both at each other's boiling point. I've seen couples like that stay bonded for life. I mean, that's how powerful it is. And it's just a natural thing. It's just a natural interaction. You probably have to keep them apart. Well, when I say keep them apart, you got to say, okay, I know y'all can't help it, but y'all got to kind of chill out at least while y'all up here. You ever see that? You see some people, they might just meet, but the vibe there is just so powerful. You like, damn, get a room. How long have y'all known each other? In fact, that's a thing in some one night stands and everything. People think it's just a pair of looks, but it is the boiling point. Not only just the visual, but what they feel. I mean, it's I'm gonna tell you what, man. It's powerful, and you've definitely used it because you were telling me your own experience when you found boiling point. You were like, wow.
Right.
I mean, let these people know, man. If you're gonna share a few things with them.
Yeah, no, man. So in my journey with boiling point, and a lot of people in America, because of a lot of it is programming, but for whatever reason, a lot of us want to lose weight a lot, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's like, I think there's other people that like myself that go the other route, but I think there's definitely more people in American culture that feel like, oh, I gotta lose some pounds, Well, my journey has always been the other. I burn calories a lot, right? Pretty quickly. And so gaining weight and everything for me. And so I've found myself, like where I'm currently at right now, I've weighed as much as 45, 50 pounds more than what I currently weigh. And on that scale, I've been able to gauge the feedback that I get on that. And I know where my sweet spot is, where it's like I'm getting actually so much attention at that point that right now I'm in a monogamous relationship, right? Mm-hmm. So I think also is also that type of thing. Is like when you're in a certain place and everything, do you even want all of that kind of? It can be a distraction of sorts. So that's another thing for us to think on too. I know sometimes when we're not getting enough, it can feel like, oh, I want more, but you don't, and you've talked to this before, there's also other people who, and a lot of womb beings can definitely attest to this, where they're getting so much attention that they have to manage it. And that's on a whole another scale and everything. I want to speak to one other thing too, wise in my conscious to think on too. You spoke about measurement, since we're talking about measurements and everything, like how in society, these different measurements and stuff that we have. In ancient Kemet or Kamut, or what we call Egypt today, they had Mayat, which is associated with math, where we get the word math from. Another meaning of Mayat was to measure, and it also another meaning was love. And she was often the deity or goddess was often shown with having scales. On one side having the heart, on the other side having a feather. And the whole idea is that our heart had to be as light as a feather. But people, where I'm going with this is like, one of the things that many of us don't have that will also block our ability to broadcast boiling points to others is that we don't have self-love.
Well, we done told them about boiling point. I know some people still not going to get it, but self-love. Because I'm going to tell you something I've seen, man. And I'll see. I'm going to tell you something there. Because I get some people and they'll look at me and they'll be like, how you get it? Oh, yeah, you this, Rom, you that. And how you getting these women and stuff? I love myself. Got me, I got to shoot. Even when I was young, before I was hitting the gym, anything like that, people would say to me, Rom, you got a high opinion of yourself. Yeah. Because I'm going to tell you what, and this is something I've said with body game. Yeah, part of it is the aesthetics, part of it is the health, part of it is just being comfortable with your body. Being comfortable. A lot of people, a lot of men especially ain't comfortable with themselves. And see, even and you do have some guys, they hit in the gym, they got muscles and all that, but they still not comfortable. Yet you get some other guy don't hit the gym as much. We talking boiling point body game, they looking at us like whatever. And then they going to see their woman. But they're comfortable with themselves. Because see, the thing with body game, everybody has a body. It's just a question of the boiling point of it. But then you got some guys, they just comfortable with who they are. They're comfortable because when you walking around comfortable, you walk with a confidence. You're comfortable in your physical form. Women pick up on it because part of that is you love yourself. That's giving a frequency. That's the heart. You opening up. And women can feel it when you're comfortable with yourself. But see, a lot of guys aren't. And that's where the thing is. That's where the problem is. Because if they ain't comfortable with themselves, if they don't love themselves, that's going to communicate something to the woman on a subliminal basis, regardless of what comes out their mouth, that they couldn't love to truly love the woman. And the women can feel that. When women looking at a man, they ain't just listening to his mouthpiece or what's coming out of his mouth. They looking at his body language, how his eyes are looking at him, what kind of vibe they get. Women will say, oh, what you're giving me. The young people will say, yeah, the woman will say, yeah, this is what you're giving me. She's saying the vibe and everything. And a lot of it comes down to just not feeling good about yourself. And it's a sad thing out here. I mean, women definitely have it, but see, the thing with women, they'll go into therapy or, do what they can to get some attention. I mean, some of them go a little bit too far with it. But see, a lot of guys, they don't feel good about themselves. Like, I'll get guys in the comments and they're like, oh, women don't want me and all of that. And, it's just like, that's one of the things that body game. You working on yourself, you feel good about yourself, boom. And that's just one part. That's just the base. You got to feel good about how, what you're doing in life and everything. It makes a big difference because you ever see some men, they complain about women and you be like, are you having trouble? But then you find out they don't feel good about themselves. They got low self-esteem. They don't have confidence. Like I talked about this on my Patreon the day we recording this. I said, don't make assumptions about a sexy woman. You don't know if that woman likes you or not. Right. A lot of guys, they kill their own self before, when I say kill themselves, they kill their own approach or whatever before they say 2 words to the woman. They don't know what that woman likes. She might have put herself in position for you to approach because you got that boiling point for her. She's hiding everything, but she might be like, oh, well, I don't know. And then the guy sitting over there and she's like, all right, let me drop some more breadcrumbs around, Like, oh, look, shoot, he's looking at the avocados. Let me go over there. But then the guy's like, oh man, she wouldn't want me. I was like, dude, she follows you to 5 hours. Come on. But nah, that self-love thing. I mean, what have you seen out there as far as that? Because I love that you brought that up, the heart. I mean, as far as, because you've had clients and everything. You talk with people, you address different groups out there in San Diego. I'll be out in a couple of weeks, of course. But what have you seen exactly?
Well, I love what you were saying there, Rom. Because the word confidence has confide in it. And we have to be able to confide in ourselves. And like you said, it's a frequency, it's a vibration, it's a rhythm to it. Mm-hmm. And when we're not carrying that frequency, of comfort with ourselves, how can we get her to be in that place? And and I want to be very clear here. I'm not talking about like little brother or girlfriend with a dick type of comfort. I'm talking comfort with that little sexual edge or that little sensual sexual tension to it, but first feeling that about ourselves, like it's like a certain turned off onness with yourself, and then become comfortable in yourself with yourself in that way. That translates, you're broadcasting that out from your heart is giving off electromagnetic field. Your brain is giving off electromagnetic field. Your sperm is giving off an electromagnetic field as they swim around and move around and everything. The blood going through your arteries and veins, right? You're pumping this energy out into the environment in waves and rippling, and they are the receptive force. They can feel that. And many womb beings, they want, and I'm going to say this, very, slowly, so you really absorb this in, they want to be fucked out their mind into their body. They want somebody to help them remember their own magic, their own, how powerful they are and what they came to be on this planet, what they came to give breath and birth to, right? So if we as the masculine, we're not carrying that frequency, how can we expect to, they are going to overlook you. We're not on the planet doing what we're supposed to do.
And I'm going to tell you what, you said something very powerful, what women are looking for, because I've said that a million times and guys still don't get it. They're like, oh no, women don't want to have sex. No, they might not want to have sex with you. In general, they want to have sex, man. And you see what these women are wearing out here? It's probably even on the East Coast, man. I'm in the store buying some stuff for the new spot. And there's this fine youngin' coming in. They be wearing these hot pants, or I don't even know what they call them now, but it's still the same thing they've always had. Nothing's new. Shoot, got the ass cheeks hanging out, got the tight spandex. I be telling guys, what do you think they doing that for? They ain't doing it just to be doing it. Now, some guys will say, well, they just want a few men. Women, actually, their nature is, if you can really understand it, they open for a great group of men. Open, at least. But the men ain't going to take advantage of it. You know, really. Because if you really, I mean, if all the man has to do is pay attention, somebody want to give him something. But only a few men, only a small percentage of men, the good bars, they going to recognize it and take advantage of it. Because actually, the good bars are more into the boiling point anyway. That's the whole point. That's the key ingredient with the good bar. They just comfortable with them. They comfortable with themselves at least. They'll have a good body, not necessarily a great body build, but a good body build. And they know how to use it. That's the thing. And what they're using it for, these women want sex. Guys can't get that. These women are trying to broadcast.
Yeah,
these women go out hunting and stuff. I've told some women like that. Go ahead.
Yeah, I want to speak on that, Rom. Yeah, so you know what? I feel like a lot of good bars, they innately carry a frequency of knowing that women want to fuck. They know in their bones, in their balls, in their breath, in their blood. Good bars know that they don't care about as you talk about the mask and the public face. I say this, man, that you know they may say something publicly, but the good bar is able to tune into what she's saying pubically.
Ooh. Ooh.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, exactly. A woman told me that. She said she was doing readings and stuff, doing, you know, psychic readings. She's telling the guy, he sat there and said, okay, I'm going to read you. And the guy looked at her, a good bar, said, I'm reading you too, baby. But that's it though, because, and see, you gave something very powerful, which now I talk about how to read women on like my Rom TV and on several series on Rom TV, because the women, they are doing it. But see, most guys don't pick up on it. Women, they give us so many broadcasts, so many signals, and they wonder, well, how come these guys ain't picking up on it? You know? That's seriously, and it can be just something as simple as hi. You don't have to be like, you know, you don't have to be like supermodel or male supermodel of the world. You just gotta be decent. Now, if you decent at boiling point, game over. But a lot of guys don't get that simple thing. And what you were saying about how women, they want to be fucked out of their heads into their body. They want good sex. I mean, seriously. They want good sex. But see, a lot of guys ain't even talking about that aspect of it. You know? They thinking, I've talked about that. I've had some guys in the comments talking about, well, it don't matter. There's some content creators talking about, it don't matter if they get theirs. I'm like, what? Shoot. Okay. That's the thing. I mean, and they always going, shoot, I got my phone off. Somebody's texting me right now. What you doing? I'm doing a Zoom call, you know? I'm like, they want that. They will find it. If a man just carries that frequency, you know, definitely work on his body, but learn to pay attention. Understand there's a lot of stuff that is going to be just a subliminal thing. It's going to be a look. It's, you know, you ever walking with a woman, you might not have had sex with her, but she walking real close, she in your boundary, kind of touchy. It's almost she can't help herself, you know? But they want that. They want that bad. You got, I mean, they be out here, you know, some men who, like ourselves, who are aware. We already know, like Nidiyama, he had tears one time. He said, these women, they got so much they want to give you, you know? But, you know, of course, somebody going to hear this and they don't want to. I say, dude, you got to change your mindset. See, one of the problems out here is a lot of guys, they don't understand that. They really don't understand the woman's sexual nature. You know, they might want wives, anything about all this stuff. They know they want sex, but they just feel like, well, you know, they've had to try to force it, but see, they didn't have the right ingredients. They didn't have the right ingredients. They had the right attitude. They didn't love themselves. They didn't make the woman comfortable in a sexual way. because I know you've had it plenty of times. You ever have just women, they just freely talk about sex, freely flirt, but they can sense it in you. And if they sense it in you, it's powerful. It's powerful. And the boiling point body game, that's just the base of it. If you start with that base, but then know how to work it, have to understand it, it's powerful. Mm-hmm. It is powerful. That's something you gotta like really focus on.
Yeah, and I would say with guys out there, even if you're not in full, BP, bowling point, like for myself, I know I'm not at my current bowling point, but I know this: if I take off my shirt and I show my 6-pack / or my 4-pack, even 4-pack Shophar out here, I know I'm gonna get a little bit more attention. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like they might overlook me while I still got the shirt on, but if I take that off, there's a shift. Now if I work out the rest of my body, then I'm getting more bowling point. But so what I'm getting at is like maybe your biceps might get you, some attention, whatever, or you know what I'm saying, you work out your delts, like what at least one of your body parts you can still garner some attention and change the game for you, just even one body part, or maybe it's just you got, you know what I'm saying, look like you're packing something or whatever. Like what is your body part that you can augment that and until you get full BP, at least work that.
And you know what? Here's the thing. Let's go deeper. And I said this before. People who follow me and follow my other stuff, and Master Yao first pointed this out in Amama. Each body part represents something subliminally to the opposite sex. So if a woman says she like a certain body part, I already know what she like about it. Like I get some women, they be like, oh, look at those calves, look at those legs. And I'm just like, oh, okay, you like a guy who's down to earth, rooted into the ground, Women who honestly looking at the dick and shit, looking at some women be saying that ass, but that's a creative region. If a woman says she like a man's chest and arms and everything, what is that? That's saying protection. The arms are like an antler. And even when the women like a man's face, his eyes and everything, that's more the spiritual side. They like the hair. That's like the connection. That's the crown and everything. And just like we like the woman, when we like that nice round butt dome, we like in her creativity or her breastises. We are liking that she can nurture. Or her legs, you ever just see a woman and people say, damn, she got some powerful legs. Think about that though. See, sometimes we pick up on stuff and if we really listen to what we say, power. What kind of power it got? What's it doing? It's doing something. It's putting a man into a mild trance. Right. That's why, like, another part of it is work on the best part of your body. The abs, like you said, the abs, that represents power right there. If we're going to get technical or get into energetic chakras, that's the solar plexus, the power chakra. Everything represents something. If women like a back, you get some women, they like a back. What that represent? Backbone, willpower. Right. That's the thing. And see, that's the thing. And see, every woman, every single woman, she's going to have a magnetic attraction to something on a man. Even if it's not like, they're going to feel something. Like they might just like the arms or something. Like the shoulder responsibility. Ooh. Right. And so that says it. So even a man, if a man learns, really pays attention, and he say, oh, you know what, these women always going crazy over my shoulders. Oh, they want a responsible man. That's giving you insight into what's really turning you on. See, a lot of guys, they really don't get. It could be something. It could be something. It could be that body. Often it's that body part that turns them on. Now, if you totally like head to toe, everything and handsome and everything, what they call that guy a hunk. And he's going to draw more women because he got more parts. So that's the thing. And I know some people were watching this and like, man, I don't know, I ain't heard of it. Well, here's a problem. Here's the problem. Western culture doesn't have knowledge of these things. Indigenous cultures knew these things. Western culture doesn't have, they're still behind in many things. Yeah, we got smartphones and we get a new style every year from different companies, but we still don't know the anatomy of the human spirit. We don't know the natural blueprint. Because I'll tell you how powerful the natural blueprint is. There's a big problem in the world talking about fertility. If women and men change their energetics, I guarantee the number of babies will explode overnight.
Totally.
That's how deep it is.
I agree. Because
when you see a lot of women having trouble with babies or getting pregnant, they usually have a lot of hot energy. The estrogen isn't working the way it should. Because see, that's another thing with body game. Your body's working the way it should. It's producing enough testosterone. It's producing, there's a whole bunch of stuff. And I'm not even I don't have as much expertise, but I just know you feeling something. You know, like you ever see a woman one time, she's so fine, you feeling something in your throat? You ever feel that?
No, I don't register in my throat. It's usually for me, it's like butterflies in my stomach. You know that saying?
Oh, okay. No, and that's some real talk. That's some real talk. Like you can feel it. You ever just feel a woman? And men, if we can feel it, imagine what they feel. Like you ever just like a woman, you be like talking to a woman, you be like, baby, my eyes up here. It's it's energetic because that's all it is. They can feel it, and we interacting always. I never forget the time I had jury duty. I never forget it. And I'm sitting there, you know, we in a room waiting to be called. I'm just sitting there reading a book. And I look up and I'm like, why are these women's legs pointed towards me? Like I had a woman next to me. We just sitting side by side, a young woman. She's slowly turning my direction. A couple other women across from me. She got her legs crossed, tapping it. I'm like, but you know, I was like, okay, I knew what was up, but it was like, because I was really into my book and waiting for. I was like, man, I hope they don't call me for a jury. I don't have time for this. But that's how powerful it is. Now, like I said, a lot of people gonna say we're on some bullshit.
Right.
They're gonna say, but here's the thing. There's a growing subculture of men who tapping into all of this. Making women have an orgasm without touching. You know, give them a look, just dip their head and the woman be like, oh, this is everything. It's real because one of the things overall, and this goes even beyond relationships, you got to tap into what's there. There's a lot of fantastic stuff out here. I mean, when you eyewitness it, you be like the first time I saw Nidiyama give a woman an orgasm without touching. I mean, I had to stop counting at 100. He wasn't even putting his hands on her and everything and stuff. And the thing was, in the room where he was demonstrating with one woman, several other in the room were having orgasms as well. They were having orgasms as well. That's how deep it is. Shoot. I'll tell you one place it happens a lot. Churches. Some of those churches where they're a little bit more in the spirit and everything. Sit there, if anybody who knows a woman's orgasm, sit there and watch them. Sit there and watch them. That's why some preachers are some players.
Yeah. Right.
They know it. Watch the women. They call it the Holy Ghost. And I said, it ain't the Holy Ghost. Shoot. But it's a power. I mean, it's powerful. It's powerful, man. Man, shoot, we're getting along here. So far, why don't you explain to the audience what you do exactly, the work you do?
Okay. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's on the lines with what you just was speaking to, Rom. Is I like to call the work SEX, Central Emotional Exchange. So central being the physical body, you know, that incorporates the body game that we've been speaking to. But the physical, the primal, the emotional component, which many men, we are numb as fuck and we leave that one out, and it's not of any fault of ours. That's what rites of passage many times is for, is to help a man connect his penis in his heart. It's not that he wants to give up his heart, because we're not womb beings, so we're not supposed to be up in our breast or chest or heart area, like as a primary energy. We're in our dicks. That's our power, right? That's a power seat for us, but it's to connect the two. And for many of us, it's a disconnect. So the emotional component, then the last thing, that the X, central emotional exchange, the exchange is the awareness with the breath, or the breath with the awareness. And when you put those together, so in other words, what I'm getting at is just penis and vagina, dicks and pussies, that no longer serves where human beings, where we're going to. We've got to update. We've got to remember what sex really is. And to me, it is central, it is emotional, and it is the exchange of the consciousness with the breath with the consciousness. And
you know what? I know, like I said, I know some people ain't ready there, but at the same time, I got a lot of people, they hitting you up. A lot of people hitting up Master Yao, or getting into the Tantra, getting into that energy thing. Because I'm gonna tell you what, when you do, it takes it to another level. The exchange, everything. I'm gonna tell you what, from a personal perspective, it blows away what people out here consider game. Having that mouthpiece, and even going beyond body game. When you connect with a woman on that level, and not the typical emotional level, or she's just a piece of meat, but when y'all having sex and there's a energetic connection, or it makes it longer, it takes it to a new level. Just the pleasure of it, the sheer pleasure when you have that connection. And especially, starting at boiling point, but then taking it to another level. I wish every single man can experience that at least once in their lives, and then they'll know. And then everything we're talking here, we gave so much power right now. I know some people, they'd be like, damn, what y'all talking about? But like I said, it's, it's incredible. And I'm gonna tell you what though, there's a lot of very attractive women who are open for all of that, taking it to that deeper, like very attractive women. It's an incredible thing, you'd be like, damn, she's fine. But then you take it to that higher level because, well, she still wants to have sex too. Oh man. But how can everybody contact you, man, when they want to talk to you? Because I'll put your link in there, but share your link. Share what you do and what your link is and everything.
I appreciate that. So they can contact me at info, so INFO at FoShowEnergyWork.com. I'll spell that out. So info at FO show SHO energywork.com. That's my email.
Okay. FoShow Energy Work. I'll flash it across the screen. So FoShow, info at FoShowEnergyWork.com.
Yes, sir.
Now, speaking of that energy work, I mean, women pay you to give them orgasms.
Yes.
I mean, and you don't penetrate them or anything. You just be sitting there.
That's the. So our hearts, are giving off an electromagnetic field, like I talked about earlier. Our brains, her what they call the yoni, in Hindu or whatever, or her pussy, her vagina. If she still has her womb space there, that's giving off an energy, right? So that electromagnetic field, we can interact with each other on that level, and we always are. But the thing is to change, and it's like a radio channel to bring our awareness to it, or like instead of being on Hulu, you come over to Netflix. That's what I'm talking about. You change the channel.
Mm. Okay. Now I wonder who's gonna pick up what you just said. But no, it's that real thing because if any man who's like you just been with some woman, say you talking, and then the woman she started moving around, she started like hanging on your word. Like one of the things I'll do if I'm talking with a group and there's women in there, I'm paying attention to how they respond, body language and everything. You know, how they looking, seeing if their nipples are getting hard or something. I'm telling you, that's what some preachers be doing.
Right.
I mean, I remember giving a seminar one time. It was all women, and they were just starting to rock back and forth. And it was starting to rock back and forth, and I was just like, and all I was doing was talking about what was really happening. I was teaching something, but they were feeling me on an energetic level.
Right.
You know, and part of that's the body. Hey, part of that's boiling point too.
Right.
Because let's bring this back. We're about to wrap this up, but it still comes down. See, that's the body is the vehicle. It's how we interact with the world. Because everything is energy. Western science has said everything is quantum. They can break it down. Everything's energetic. This is how we interact. If you know what you're doing with it, you always have one. You always say it's just a matter of if you want to deal with it.
Right.
That's it. That's it. It's like, do you feel like dealing with it then? Because even when you interact, and like you get some guys and it's like, yeah, you got to approach and stuff, that's still an interaction. That's still, and it's like, even some people doing online stuff, that's still an interaction.
Right.
And if you understand that, that's where the power is. And yeah, I'm gonna put your email in the description box, and also your YouTube channel, because you be hitting some deep stuff on your YouTube channel.
Thank you.
Like that.
Thank
So, I mean, any final words for our audience?
Well, I'd like to do this. I'm gonna give some final words, but before we do that, I invite everybody through time and space to close your eyes, and let's do 3 deep breaths together. And that'll go into my final words. So let's breathe in and out, feeling your body. Breathe in and out. Last one, breathing in and out. And then slowly open your eyes. So one thing I want to say out there to the family through time and space is that all the womb beings that you can think of, one thing that they all have in common is that they're breathing. You know, if they're alive, they're breathing. Your breath, when you can realize the power of your breath, that's half of the battle right there. You know, like when you talked about the women feeling you insert, you notice when a woman is really in this really powerful place, her lip a quiver and all, but it's almost like she's grasping for breath. Orgasm is on the scale of breath. So what I'm getting at is breathing itself is orgasmic, y'all. But most of the time our awareness is not, we're not aware of it. But what you do is you switch because what I'm getting at is being alive and you being God in the flesh. You being alive is orgasmic. God is happy to be alive in you. And when you remember that as a man and you carrying that frequency, womb beings are going to come to you, literally come to you to be reminded of how orgasmic and how powerful and beautiful life is.
I'm gonna tell you what, when you said the breath, if you pay attention to really pay attention, a lot of women tell you that. Back in the 90s, there was a monster bestseller book. It became a movie by Terry McMillan, Waiting to Exhale.
Ooh, I remember. Wow, that's funny. Yes.
Waiting to exhale.
Right.
And if a man's really astute, pay attention to how a woman breathes. If a woman, she start, her breathing changes, boom. That's even in sex. If her breathe, that's when you know you're hitting it right. Seriously, her breathing starts to change. So it's very powerful, and we'll leave it at that. And some people want to get it, some people don't. As we said in a group I used to roll with, for those who overstand, no explanation is necessary. For those who don't, none is possible. So I want to thank you, Shophar, for coming on. And I'm just going to say, y'all need to check him out. Y'all need to sub his channel. Y'all need to sub his channel. Y'all need to contact him. He can take it to another level. He can take it, check out his videos. Because one of the things we need to do, we got all these issues out here, but people staying at the same level. Yet in our culture, in our growing subculture, the biggest issue is managing the women. It's not even getting them, it's managing them. Seriously. And what we got cuts across a lot of stuff. I've talked about class and all these divisions and how that affects it, but you get it to a certain level, you rise above all of that. So anyway, want to thank you, and for everyone else, sub this powerful young man, and peace and blessings to everyone. Peace.
Peace.